we just, I was happy with siblings. I was happy with them. But I wasn't happy with Mom and Papa. I guess I was happy in a way. But I'd rather it just be me and other children. Now, if they'd send just me and Opal and Ellis, it was more or less fun at certain times of the year when berries would be ripe or chestnuts would be falling or things like that, huckleberries and Mountain Dew, Mountain Ivy, Mountain Dew. And, well, come in. I just wonder if the ball game's ever going to get over. Or did you go to a ball game?
Yeah, it's over with. Go back.
What's Sunday?
Well,
Yeah.
at least stick my head down the back of you.
It hurt. Granny was in this little half bed sitting near the door that went into the living room into the kitchen. And as she passed by Granny, Mommy said, ma'am, what do you want to snack on? And she just crossed her hand on her chest and closed her eyes and said, I say so too. And she was gone like that. Never grunted or nothing. It just looked like she was laying on her feet, but she crossed her arm. At that time, they crossed their hands across their chest. And she had closed her eyes. She looked so happy. And, yeah, they buried her the next day at 5 o'clock, just before dark. And they had to carry her from Cane Branch up to, you know where them Coles live at the mouth around Hot Corner. That's that cemetery behind their house, and they carried her up there, and they sung all the way up. Oh, until I see Jesus. Whole song.
How many was all of you in, well, let's see, at that time
Well,
you was
James was 2 years old.
Did she have any brothers or sisters living at the time when she died?
There's somebody named, a man named Ken McCann would come and visit her all the time. I don't know whether it was a brother-in-law or it was a relative. But that's the only person only relative I ever know that's coming and visiting her.
What church she got there?
She was, at that time they called them hard shell, Crimson Baptist. But there's 2 preachers come to visit her one time from the hard shell church. And
What's something right there?
they didn't know that Granny, they thought Granny couldn't read. And they was telling her, you know, about this and that happened that the Bible said. And she just sits there and laid there and listened at it. And after them 2 preachers got to telling her all that stuff, she asked one of the children to reach her glasses to her. And she reached over to get that man's Bible. She read it. She said, you don't know what you're doing. She said, you thought I couldn't read, didn't you? And he said, I thought you could. And she said, don't try to fool me like that no more.
Mm-hmm.
She was a good Christian woman, even the denomination didn't. I didn't know the word denomination then. So,
What kind of churches they have around here at that time?
well, it's a Mass Sugar Camp where Robert was lived up there, Stevie Roberts lived. We had Presbyterian Church over across the creek up on the hill.
Presbyterian?
Yeah. And had a regular Baptist church built up here in the upper end of the garden. And I guess the primitives and the regulars was the leading churches at that time.
Or was the nearest primitive Baptist church?
Up on the Sugar Camp Farm, in the Robbins family had the church in his house. And they'd sit these big dinners. Aunt Alice could cook the best. I could still taste them dinners, and we'd go up there and eat every relative they
Which
had.
was that Daddy's Aunt Alice?
No, it's Mama's half brother's wife, Uncle Neil and Aunt Alice.
Neil Roberts?
And
They didn't have their own church house.
No, they just preached in the house, on the porch in the summertime, and in the house in the wintertime.
Who was the preachers at the Presbyterian church?
Well, they come from different places. It was, that little Tommy Harvey was one that.
Was that y'all's landlord at the time? Or?
Yeah, and we went over there to Sunday school. They was Mr. Donaldson and a Mr. Maxwell, and just visiting preachers that come in.
Traveling preachers.
Well, that's the way they do
Donaldson and Maxwell. How far? I mean, they like travel from Pikeville,
well,
or they
I
travel?
don't know.
Well, I'd say at that time they
From
didn't travel.
Pikeville, I guess, because that Mr. Donaldson was, he's a well thought of man there in Pikeville, so I figured at that time he was younger, but he stayed in Pikeville till he got old.
I'd say there wasn't too many vehicles around then, was it?
Well, no, Tom Harvey had the first vehicle that ever. Well, somebody else in 1925 drove. I don't know how they got in here, but he was Alfred. His first name was Alfred. I can't remember. Can't recall his last name. Lived in town, and I don't know how in the thunder he got up here in that car, and he drove it to church. And then Tom Harvey got the next car.
Well, they had the roads that you used buggy and wagon on there.
Yeah, like over here.
Yeah, I remember those roads.
On the
Most of the roads was built right in the creek, but
yeah, if it's if the creek's got up too deep to walk down the road, like
it was blocked. But
well, we bought some people's cornfields and things getting out of it.
Remember any of the regular Baptist preachers?
Yeah, Frank Hopkins was one. I don't remember.
what about Dave Roberts' daddy? Was he a preacher?
He was a Baptist preacher.
Was that Neil? What was his daddy's name?
Neil.
Was that Dave's dad?
Yeah, it was Dave's dad.
Well, Dave's still living, ain't he?
Yeah, he's still living, but they, after Uncle Neil died, they started going from one church to another. They'd go and get tired of that church and they'd get their letter. Or they get turned out of the church and they go somewhere else. And I guess Dave's been baptized about 4 times. And
He's got too sick. No, he's not got too cold.
once he got a cold.
He's got a cold. His mother ain't got a cold.
I thought she's on the phone. I got tonsillitis.
I don't have no tonsils.
Well, what church did Mommy and Poppy belong to?
Well, it's the time that I'm talking about right now. They didn't belong to no church, but Poppy never was baptized. But Mommy belonged to the regular Baptist. And that's when some of the Robertses began falling out with her because she didn't
Brent.
be on the crew. And then the first thing you know about all them Robertses, and Premises Roberts was in the regular Baptist church. And they just hopped from here to there. They never did go to Presbyterian.
But did many people go to the Presbyterian church?
No, but if you went to Presbyterian church that time, you disgraced yourself right then from the people on the church. And you couldn't find better people than Tom Hardy and his mother. There was good people. They never bothered nobody. And as we was growing up and lived down at Collins or around about and had to walk up on church and see rain, she'd see us come and she stayed in her kitchen most of the time.
This Tom Harvey's mother?
Yeah. And she could look out the window and see people coming up past her house, you know. And she'd see Mommy and us children coming up, and she would, she could make real good biscuits. And she would make brown sugar sandwiches out of them leftover biscuits from breakfast and bring them out there to us. So it looked so good.
Brown sugar sandwiches.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. I can't hardly eat a cold biscuit now, but them biscuits, them cold biscuits, are something else. And they farmed and they lived.
They live next to the church, or
No, the church was across the creek over behind People's House, up on the hill from People's House.
where the Harveys live?
They live out that old house still there, standing there across Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old house.
Steve's grandma.
Yeah, I know the old house you're talking about.
Yeah, that's where she lived. That's where they lived. And
So y'all lived at Collins for a while?
yeah, your papa worked there, and I guess he worked on about 22.
What did he do then?
So y'all walk, come up to church and
Walk.
visit your granny?
Yeah, visit.
What, I mean, is that just to get out and walk in the morning and spend the day with her, or?
Yeah. Well, really, it wasn't very far.
It ain't that far.
And,
That's when you got a gaggle of children walking with you.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and we
And
gone.
in 1922, you've been what, 8, 9 years old?
Yeah, I was small. But, and then Granny, one of Granny's boys from the Hamilton man was up there one day, and he was a strong Democrat. I don't know why I'm talking about politics so much, but he was a Democrat and he's a drunkard. He was a pure old down-out hard chill drunkard. That's all you can call him. David was little. Mommy got him to his feet and laid him in the middle of the bed where Granny's bed was. And he got off his horse and hooked it up to the gate and kicked it on its hind parts and cussed and come in there and he said, "There's another one of them damn Republicans. Damn Republicans." And he pointed his finger at David. And he
Little
started-
baby.
Yeah, he wasn't over 6 or 7 months old. And he started towards David. He meant to kill him, but Mommy grabbed him by the foot and jerked him down, just as Tom fell across the bed.
Mercy.
Oh, I could write a book, Fat Fish, on it, all that stuff, but, it was, at that time, there wasn't nothing for children to do. There wasn't no part to play ball at or anything. We got built a little rock playhouse. But we took an old churn that was broke. We found it in the creek, and we made us some jackstone, you know.
Yeah.
And,
Where'd you get the ball at?
we didn't use a ball. We just
Okay, just pretend.
no, we just caught that. We'd throw that jackstone up and grab them and
Oh, okay, catch the stone.
instead of a
Okay.
ball. And where we played at, where Granny laid, where there was the window, and she could look out and see us. And she said, "Jenny, get out and make them children quit that." She said, "That's a sin." And that's when I thought, what's a sin? What is a sin? And Mama didn't make us quit playing, but she made us move a play place. And that was one of the fun things. Other things, down, Poppy had a big barn built down in the lower end of the garden. And had a ladder to climb up the loft on the outside, had it built up there. And me and Opal went up on the playhouse and we made us some corncob dolls. Tied strings around them, and then we made some out of old rags and tied strings around their head. Well, I was going to bring mine up the house and put them in the bed. I started down there and I fell. I still got the scar here somewhere where I fell down that ladder. Cut a hole in my head. And I dropped my doll. And I said, "I hope its little head ain't hurt." But I went past and Mom put some turpentine or something on it. I don't know. It didn't get infected. But just little things like that. And in the summertime when herbs was, we sold a lot of herbs. When Poppy wasn't working in mines, we was up in the hill digging herbs. And what was the name of this herb that would grow down the bottom below our house?
Ralleloo.
No, it was, you had to get a big lot of it.
Ginseng.
It was, you didn't get much for it, but it dried real quick. Like, if we come from school one evening and the sun was shining by, we'd go down there and pull us a big lot. And then the next evening they'd be dry. we'd take the store and buy penny pencils. And these long penny pencils. And I don't know how they managed to buy books for us, but I remember us having even from the printer.
What about paper?
And the paper we get was yellow sheets of paper. It was tablet, but it was yellow sheets. And you might can still buy it. We had to write on both sides of it. And we wasn't allowed to loan nobody sheet paper or let nobody borrow a pencil. Because, you know, you just had to live from day to day, and you had to be careful where you stay. And our school clothes, as far as that's concerned, we had 2 dresses, and we would wear a dress a week. We'd wear it all week. Mom would have the other one clean, and she'd let us wear it to church on Sunday. But the dress we wore to church on Sunday, we won't wear it all the next week. And, but we managed. I don't know, sometimes I wonder how, and a lot of times I wonder why.
Surviving.
Poppy wasn't bootleg, he didn't play cards, he just worked, that's all he done.
Poppy never drank.
Yeah, he drank.
A little.
He wasn't never a big drinker.
Let mother. We're doing an interview.
Oh, you're doing it? You ready to go, Karen?
Y'all
No.
can sit around for the interview.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
No,
You ready to go?
let's sit around.
We gotta go.
And,
I didn't know you were doing an interview.
Should have
they,
told him.
Oh.
You should have told him.
Well,
You should have told him he was doing an interview.
no, I didn't mind him asking the questions,
You're ready to go.
but I just want to get mother to answer them, though.
yeah.
He's asking some good
Wow.
questions.
Why, me and Mother, I come down here and talk to her like this all the time. It's
I know it. Come on,
You might help us out.
Well, I'll be back down.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
But, I just wonder, and that's something I never did ask Mommy, how her and Poppy ever met. He was in Greeks Creek, she was on Sugar Cane. And
That was a long way back.
that was a long, long way back. They got married in 1909. No, they got married in 1910. Her daddy died in 1909. She got married in 1910. I don't know, there's just so many things that happened, and it took her to Greens Creek. She's just 15 years old. And Grandma was, she thought that everybody done wrong. Well, Mommy was married in November, and Opal was born the next November. And she might have died when she was born. She was maybe through town or something like that. And, but Mommy had sent after her. She said she'd sent after Grandma to come up there, and the midwife. And Mommy said that Grandma was over in the corner crying, and said the midwife said, Georgie, don't cry. I said, it's going to be all right. She said, I'm not crying about that. She said, that's not Willie's baby. She was more like Poppy in her shiny hair. But Grandma was like that. She was a good woman. But everybody at that time was bastards but her children and her grandchildren. She had more bastard grandchildren than anybody. I mean, really. She had illegitimate children, but then that word hadn't been printed, you know, they called them bastards.
Yeah.
And you wasn't glad we wasn't allowed to speak to an illegitimate child. And if there was some woman that had a baby and was coming down the road and you was going up it, you got just as far away from that woman as you could get on the other side of the road. Mom would say, go over there. And that's how much things has changed. And well,
So you actually shunned them.
She shunned them. Everyone shunned them. And I don't think that, I don't know where things changed for the better or the worse. I think you ought to be kind and friendly to everybody, no matter
What their problems may be.
what kind of problems. You never know what caused the person to do that. You never know what caused the person. It's just like